So if you're the homeowner and you're about to hire a contractor, this video is for you. We're gonna give you tips.
Everything else will be new. New underlayment, new drip edge, new flashings, new dormer vents.
How popular are projects like this right now in California?
This one you would have to, what happens if you just glue it right here, these will slide down together.
What's the plan there? Today we're in beautiful San Diego, California, and in this video you will learn everything you need to know about concrete tile, clay tile, and the way they roof in California or southern market. I'm here with a great contractor, friend of Roofing Insights, Brian, and we're actually in one of the jobs about to start taking it, how do you call it, lifting, they say lifting it up. Up north we call it removal. You're lifting them?
It's called a lift and lay, so we lift them up, stack them, and then remove all the underlayment and install new underlayment and then reinstall tile.
Love it. So if you're the homeowner and you're about to hire a contractor, this video is for you. We're going to give you tips how to hire a contractor, about shortcuts that they take in California, everything you need to know about this type of roofs, clay, concrete, your heavy materials, not your typical shingles, what to pay attention to. So first, Brian, tell me about the price, who's your competition, and how do they cheat, or how do they, I know it's a race to the bottom here because you have a lot of cheap labor, but it comes with a lot of problems and headaches for the homeowners. What's the most common thing?
The most common thing right here would be, a lot of people like to use the 40-pound UDL made by Malarkey or the titanium 50 UDL. So those are the two basic underlayments that you would use to do this type of project. So the process of a tile lift and lay is going to reuse your tile, but everything else will be new. New underlayment, new drip edge, new flashings, new dormer vents, new tile pan. So all flashings, you basically get a new roof with saving the cost of buying new tiles. Replacement tiles, you could either install new tiles in a section where you can't see and use those to distribute, or you can try to get the matching tiles from a boneyard. They're a little bit more pricey, but it will your house will match with the tiles that you have currently.
Tell me about this roof problem. So why we're doing it? Does it have leaks? What's going on here? Why the homeowner decided to lift and lay?
So how these are installed, they're all just glued, because you have a membrane here and you don't want to nail through this membrane because then you get leaks. So a lot of people just glue them. This is one way to do it. We do it with expanding foam. It's made by Eagle. It holds the tile a lot better. This one you would have to, what happens if you just glue it right here, these will slide down together. If you don't glue them to the bottom course, because they'll start sliding. So this is just for aesthetic, so it can match the existing house staggered. But that's why they're all glued. That way this doesn't leak. We're gonna actually remove these and put tile back because they're gonna put solar. So we have to remove all the tiles, put some new underlayment, and then reinstall the tiles. So this one in particular, it's a solar project. So Tesla recommended them to do the underlayment before they install the panels. That way the roof should last as long as the system. So it'd be in sections. It would be in sections.
So what Tesla is doing here?
They're gonna install just solar panels for energy.
What kind of Tesla solar products will go on this roof? Is it big panels or is it?
Just the standard Tesla size panels. So what we do is we just take care of the roof underneath, and then they put on the post or the stanchions to anchor on their rails, and then they'll put on the panels. So they come afterwards. Sometimes we could work together with them, but common practice right now, solar, they just want to come get in and get out. They don't want to deal with the interaction with.
So who is hiring you, homeowner or Tesla?
Homeowner.
Homeowner
was getting three bids because Tesla wanted them to do the underlayment.
How popular are projects like this right now in California?
Pretty much every project, unless it's the roof. So the roof, the process would be, if you already have solar, then you would have to remove it from whoever installed it, or if they're at a business, which is pretty common, you would have to hire solar contractor to remove the panels while we roof it in.
How long will it take you to do with the permit and everything else?
Probably about 2, at the most 3 days to do this one, just to do the underlayment, double underlayment.
Because you have to remove it, inspector have to come and see the deck before you cover up. That would give me a headache and anxiety to sleep at night, because you told me that they are not available until 3:30, or you have to call until 3:30.
So right here, the practice is you have to call the city to schedule an next day inspection before 3:30. If it's after 3:30, then it would be considered as the next business.
So you have to remove something you can't do in Florida or most other markets. So you have to remove everything from the roof, underlayment everything, deck is exposed, and
Overnight.
and overnight. What will happen if it rains?
So what we do is we actually plastic it off, so it's very easy to remove. We actually have it right there. I let the homeowner know because recently we had thunderstorms coming from Arizona, and last 2 weeks ago there was like this huge storm that was like about 5, 7 in the morning, and it just poured out of nowhere, which is pretty unusual. So she asked me if what we're gonna do, because we're gonna expose the plywood. We'll just put some plastic down just to prevent any water from going into the house. And then when it comes time for the inspection, we just show up 30 minutes earlier and we remove all the plastic, and then they can inspect the roof.
How much something like this cost, and what are cheaper bids can do this for?
So competitive bid right now would be about $500 to $550 a square to do a tile lift and lay. But there's a lot of people that can do it for about $350 if they install it themselves, and they could probably get it for $350 right now.
Absolutely. So you guys are about to get here and start lifting it up, right?
Yes, sir.
Love it, can't wait to see. So the tile looks good. I did notice that guys are actually throwing some tiles away, so I guess the broken and cracked ones. What's the plan there?
So the plan there is to use whatever ones we could save from the back roof and use them towards here, because a lot of people are going to drive right here. They're going to see this area, and then we're going to install new tiles in the area where it's least visible.
So it's probably going to be a little bit off color or similar?
Off color, yes. It just won't have the algae, the
so it'll be newer.
Newer look, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna install. It's actually very smart because you don't see it. It's the same look. It's the same tile. It's just different slope. And those tiles will replace broken tiles here. How does this look so far? I do see few plywoods with the stains, but nothing too crazy. Or are you gonna replace some?
This one we might be replacing. We just want to make sure we're ready for inspection. But usually to determine it, sometimes it's just stained.
Sometimes it's softer.
Correct. With OSB, you could see it crumble. With CDX, it holds water.
What do you like better? What do you recommend, CDX or OSB?
I'd use OSB because it's like recycled, so it kind of like warps better. Okay. CDX, it doesn't crumble as easy as OSB, because if you have a leak on OSB, you're going to get a big leak. With CDX, you won't get that much of a big leak because it'll still stay on the plywood. If you drip water here, it won't get soft. It has like some glue that it just doesn't.
It goes between layers. But eventually both of them will leak. You told me earlier something happened with this inspection, with this permit. What's going on? Are you going to be able to pull it?
With San Diego, unless you're altering the actual structure or adding weight, then you would need a permit. But usually if they don't really handle roofing permits unless you resheet the house or change wood or things like that.
So they deny you in inspection as well?
Correct.
So they don't want to see it. They're like, okay, you do that and we're not going to come out.
Yeah, so if we're working like in Vista, like within the county, there's different cities like Escondido, Vista, Carlsbad. If they have like a city hall, then you could obtain permits to be able to have a city inspector come out and look at the sheeting and pass off on it, and then we would.
Isn't it crazy, because this is a big dollar amount job, and if contractor is not required to do the permit, so they can charge tens of thousands of dollars to do this, and then don't do anything or pretend like they're doing. Because if nobody, like if the homeowner is not watching you, you can say, hey, I did it, it's new. Like who is checking?
Who's checking? Well, we usually take pictures.
No, of course, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, if there's not permit, like, if you asking, like, hey, can someone come in and check my work? It's accountability thing. Like, city would want to be, you know, interesting that it's their, you know, property and their management in a sense. And if there's a dollar amount, I mean, first of all, it's the revenue to the city, you would think. And it's just crazy to me that they wouldn't do it because it's still a big job. I mean, you charge them for this roof as much as new installs in some other markets.
Yeah, it's just depending on, they just want to make sure, I think they're a little bit overwhelmed because San Diego is a pretty big county.
Sure.
So that's probably why, I mean, if we're not adding or changing anything.
So it's not regulated, but it's still a lot. Scope of work is there. It's just not a regulated scope of work. Are you gonna replace the metal valley?
No, we're gonna tie in right here because as soon as we lift up that valley, it's gonna open up a can of worms, as you would say, because it's woven. And Tesla or the solar company only wants us to do certain sections, like right there and right here.
So you're not doing the entire, if you don't.
No, we're just doing sections where solar is gonna be installed. Right here, we'll put like a peel and stick, and some underneath we'll put some mastic, so it has a proper tie-in and nothing will come around on this side. We are gonna do maintenance, so if we see any broken tile, we're gonna replace them, and also seal around the vent pipes because the homeowner let us know that the rest of the roof had a lift and lay before.